How do you see the economy of the ASEAN countries in next year? What is that direction? Why? Please explain.
I think we are relatively positive that the ASEAN economies will remain sustained at current levels in 2015. Although there is possibility of an upside to the GDP growth if crude oil prices remain at current low levels. For example, in Thailand, we currently assume 4% GDP growth for 2015. But if crude oil prices remain at current levels, there could be 1.1 to 1.5 percentage points increase in the GDP growth. So quite likely, if crude oil prices remain weak, then we could be looking at 5 or above 5% GDP growth for Thailand.
The next one, the policy of Malaysia to be the country with high revenue in 2020. How the policy of Malaysia can support the economy of Malaysia to be the country of high revenue in 2020?
Okay. Shall I start?
Yes.
Okay. I think the government is very, positive about the long-term outlook for Malaysia in respect of investments as well as potential for growth from all the various sectors. Also, of course, the integration of the ASEAN Economic Community over the next few years will also be positive for Malaysia, given that Malaysia is, has quite developed manufacturing industries and developed infrastructure. As it stands, Malaysia is also looking at, developing further infrastructure to connect, Malaysia with neighboring countries. For example, the high-speed rail link between Malaysia and Singapore. I think going forward, we remain positive about the targets, and the 2020 will remain a key focus for the government in terms of the policies that they announce over the next few years.
Next question. Since you cover 5 countries in Asia, could you compare each country to Thailand, the market, the stock market?
The Thai stock market is, one of the largest that we cover relative to Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore, and remains an important one for us. In Thailand, we cover 110 companies compared to Malaysia, where we have a larger team of analysts, where we cover 168 companies. Indonesia is a very large country, but from a stock market perspective, it's still slightly smaller than Thailand. In Indonesia, we cover about 70 overstocks in Indonesia. Now, Singapore is a much more developed market, and potentially, actually, we should be covering a lot more companies. We currently cover about 100 companies in Singapore, but potentially we should be covering 110 to 115 companies. Now, in terms of the growth prospects, I think there's a lot of opportunity to be covering more companies in Thailand as well as the region, especially in the small and mid-cap space where RHB specializes in. Within each of the ASEAN markets, we cover maybe 10 to 15% of the small cap companies, those with market cap of below $1 billion US. This, we think, is a great opportunity and this is where a lot of the new ideas can be generated, and this will be opportunities for investors to invest in and create some value from.
What are the strengths of the Thai capital market, and what are the weaknesses that it should adjust itself for the upcoming AEC?
Thailand has been one of the earliest to come together in terms of the AEC, and it's ahead, I think, of the ASEAN region in terms of the progress. As we know already that in Thailand there are various road projects that are being implemented connecting Thailand to some of the neighboring countries of Indochina, for instance. I think Thailand will be central to the AEC because of the location, both in terms of being connected to Southeast Asia, as well as northern part of Southeast Asia. So will be a core part of AEC. Now, of course, in the last few years, there's been concern about the political uncertainty, but it's good to see that things have now resolved itself, and we hope that Thailand will remain stable, and that will only be positive for the capital markets in Thailand.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.